Good morning, everyone. My name is Francisco. I'm the CEO of Locky, which is the locker company that belongs to CTT. And I'm also the head of product for Express and Parcels in CTT. I'm here to talk to you about what we've been doing in the PUDO area and the lockers network that we've been setting up. So, quick introduction for those of you who don't know what CTT is. CTT is a postal operator in Portugal. It's a private company. Obviously, besides mail, we've been in the Express and Parcels area for some time. We are present not only in Portugal but also in Spain. And besides the Express and Parcels area, we have the financial arm with the bank, as several posts do. And it's one of the reference companies in Portugal. So one of the things that we've been developing and worrying over the years is to develop and to bring a superior experience to the consumers. And something that we've been seeing from the market and from the consumers is the growing interest on PUDOs and delivering alternative delivery options. And this is something that we've been developing and trying to bring to consumers, is to have a wider and convenient and close to people PUDO network. Something that we've seen, and we do every year a survey on Portugal and Spain, is that the two main points of consumers when shopping online and related to deliveries is one, not knowing when the delivery will happen, so not knowing when the delivery guy will pass by, and being able to miss it. And the second one is needing to go and pick it up the parcel when the delivery doesn't happen at home. So obviously a PUDO network and a dense PUDO network can address these two issues. And at the same time, e-commerce is growing, specifically in these two markets where the e-commerce penetration still lags behind the average European. And people are more worried about sustainability. So those two don't clash, right? And obviously having a PUDO network can ease that sustainability part. It obviously brings a consolidation to specific points, so it decreases the number of travels that a vehicle must do. It takes traffic out of the cities. There's obviously different views of a PUDO network can deliver a more sustainable experience or not, because it depends on the way that people go to that pickup point to pick up that parcel. But we believe that if we put there that option, if it's dense enough, we at least give that option of having a more sustainable delivery to consumers, and then they can choose however they go. But if it's dense and convenient, at least the option is there. The pickup points, it's obviously a global trend. We've seen this from our clients, from retailers, putting more and more this option in their checkouts, in their websites. They see not only as bringing an alternative that consumers are asking, but actually making sure that the delivery has a higher success rate, so that you can actually deliver and have a success rate on the sell. So this is something that we've seen from our clients, the marketplaces, the online retailers. And actually people do like the experience. So we've seen it on CTT, for example, that people that use the lockers, 95% of them would use it again. So they're quite happy with the experience, and they rate the experience at 4 out of 5. So they're quite happy with the experience of having this alternative delivery. So the value proposition is quite simple. It's convenience. So and especially in Portugal and Spain, it doesn't compare with Poland or the Nordics, where people are very, very happy to use the pickup points. They use it very much. So we do believe that delivering at home, when someone is at home, is the most convenient way, but you need to worry to be at home. So the value proposition that we try to sell is, if you deliver to a pickup point, you don't have to worry. You just you choose whatever is most convenient for you, and then you pick it up wherever you want and whenever you want. So this is the main value proposition that we sell. Obviously, sustainability comes along, but the main value and the main selling point is convenience. Especially in this market, sustainability is an issue, but it's still something that is developing as a society, and it's not the main worry. So this is something that we've been trying to sell. Extended hours. Lockers obviously have a more extended hours, 24/7 in most cases, and with no queues. And this is the convenience is the main value proposition. So in CTT, both in Portugal and Spain, we have been developing this PUDO network. In Portugal, we have close to 3,000. Of those, 600 are lockers, and we are growing on the different types of PUDOs. In Spain, we've just recently launched the 7,000, and it's actually growing, aiming to reach 9,000 until the end of this year. And this is something that we not only want to have a large network, but a convenient one. So we started with having the largest pickup point in Portugal, but not with good opening hours. Then we worked on that to have a large and with convenient hours. And now we brought the lockers that has a different experience, more modern, 24/7, and easier for people to just go there, not have to attend anyone, no queues, and a quicker experience. So what we've been doing on the locker. So we have 600. The aim is to reach 1,000 till the end of this year. So every week we are growing the network. And where are these lockers? They are on the typical places where people pass by, where close to home, close to work. So shopping malls, retail shops, parking lots, gas stations. So the typical places, I think, in everywhere where locker networks are being put in place. The aim is to have people on the dense cities 10 to 15 minutes walking from a locker. So we believe that only if we have the right network, that it's actually dense, large, convenient to everyone, that people start using it. So at least this is the approach that we've been setting up. So building up a national coverage everywhere on the country and on the islands, so that people start having the habit of using it and feel it as convenient for them. We have mainly 4 options. One is to set up what we call the public networks, which is accessible to anyone, that we are responsible for deploying it, for maintaining it, and it is available on the checkout of our clients. So that is the other options. One, setting up the physical network, and then making it available for all clients so they can bring this convenient experience for their customers, and with a higher customer experience satisfaction with a good NPS. Then we're also developing what we call click and collect lockers, so basically exclusive lockers for retailers. It's a closed loop for their specific operations, for their internal e-commerce. They put it on their facilities, on their stores, and they run it, they use it, but it's actually our equipment, and we give them the tools to manage it. And then we have something that we call private lockers, which are basically corporate lockers, so lockers for corporate buildings, and also residential lockers in mostly large condominiums. And we're building this network as an open network. So actually it belongs to CTT, but any carrier, anyone can actually deliver on this network. And we've been going through this path because we believe, one, we're not Poland, we're not the locker land, and people are not used to using lockers, so it helps having the right occupation, so we bring in more volume. And actually, if we want to build a scalable network, we believe this is the right way, so we can grab every volume that we can in order to the economics make sense. Obviously, it's more complex in terms of the technology and the software to manage the different volumes for everyone and to make it accessible to everyone and to manage the overflow. But this is something that we've been able to do so far. Right now, only CTT is delivering, but we've closed contracts with other carriers to start using it as well. So I believe that the second half of this year will be quite interesting to see how this all turns out to happen. And it's beneficial to everyone, right? So it's a physical infrastructure. It will be in the city. It will occupy space. So if we are the largest and the first one to reach this size, I think it's obviously beneficial to everyone, and especially to municipalities that are more and more worried about these types of thing of urban logistics and how they can mingle and integrate mobility with logistics, and this is something that they're worrying, and it's also a value proposition for them to see, look, we are putting this in place, it's accessible to anyone that wants to use it, not only for CTT. So this is actually the way that we've been developing the network. And also something important for us is that we're developing the equipment. So we've built a network of local partners, from the hardware, the metalworks, to electronics, to the assembly, to the maintenance. We built a group of local companies that actually develop the equipment for us. So we're not going to the market to providers to bring us turnkey solutions. And with this, we were able to actually customize the equipment for the specific needs that we have, for specific needs that our clients, retailers have, and actually to have something that is with a lower cost for us. So that obviously helps on the scale that we want to set up. So this actually helps on building a large-scale network, on being present everywhere, on have a good coverage, and in a way that we can easily change what we're doing in terms of equipment, deploying it fast, and actually controlling it, the actual equipment. The experience of using a locker, it's quite simple. So most of all our lockers have a screen. So basically the consumer receives an SMS or an email with a PIN code, and it just needs to insert it on the locker on the screen, and then it opens it up and the parcel is there. So the experience is quite simple. Obviously there are other types of lockers in the market, Bluetooth, screenless, that have been deploying. We've gone through this path. We believe that this is the right way, because in Portugal and Spain, lockers, people are not used to lockers, so it's a new technology. People are starting to use it, but it's something new. And we believe it's easier if we have a screen that people can touch and see and how it works. You don't need to use a phone, you don't need to use an app. So we believe that it's an easy way for people starting interacting with this equipment. Obviously, it's more difficult to deploy. We need an electrical plug, and sometimes dealing with places where we need to put the infrastructure to build a locker takes a long time. But so far, we're quite happy with the experience and with what we've been deploying. So what we've been developing in terms of equipment, we have lockers for indoor and outdoor. They're pretty much the same. The materials for outdoor are obviously more robust. They have LED lighting, so for at night, it's actually safer. At least gives them the sense of being more safer to go to the locker. Then we have something that we call small lockers, which are pretty much smaller lockers, easier to configure the box sizes, and we've been deploying this on corporate offices, and people are quite happy with it. Then we have the refrigerated lockers, so frozen stuff or cold temperature. Obviously, it's not part of the hundreds of lockers that we have on the public network. It's the economics, at least we don't see it working. So what we've been doing is doing partnerships with supermarkets in order to set up these lockers specific for them. So far we're quite happy. But the economics of setting up hundreds of these lockers so far doesn't make sense. And then we have what we call the through-the-wall locker. So this is basically a need that we had on CTT. So we wanted to have lockers on our shops. So we have 500 shops, and we wanted to have lockers there, but to be 24 hours accessible. And this was the way. Most of the stores don't have the ability to put a locker outside. So this was a way to put a locker there and to actually be accessible 24 hours. So we've built this solution. It's through the wall, and now we've seen retailers finding interesting to put it on their stores as well. So the configuration of our locker network is always the same. So it's modular, so you can add up as many modules as you want. So I think the largest that we have is with 10 modules, so with more than 100 slots. Different box sizes, and this is the typical locker that we have. But we've been able to develop specific locker configurations for our retailers as well. So those click and collect that I was mentioning before, specifically retailers that work with large volumes, furniture, for example, we were able to develop a specific locker for them with much larger box sizes, and actually with a size for a pallet to go in. So we were able to do this because we were sort of controlling the manufacturing of the equipment, because we were able to change the specifications of the locker equipment, and easy for the retailers to reach out for us and to actually get those equipments from us. We're also giving this tool for retailers to manage their internal exclusive click and collect parcels on their locker. So it's basically a tool that sees whoever is picking up, what time, and actually manages all the occupation of the locker, the communication to the consignees with a PIN code, with a specific message on saying how to deal with the locker. And this is something that the retailers have been quite happy as well with us giving them this solution. And lastly, what are our ambitions for this year and the next? Continue growing in Portugal, so we really want to reach 1,000. Every week we are deploying dozens of lockers, and we want to do so till the end of the year. Obviously the 1,000 will be will be tough. And after this, we want to continue growing in Portugal. We also want to enter Spain. So Spain is something that we've been analyzing, and we want to develop our own locker network there as well, open to any carriers with the same positioning here in Portugal. Something that we've seen, so basically we started developing the lockers for our own network, right? And then we saw we actually had the good equipment, and retailers were actually interested on having as well. And now we've seen the interest of other markets that we are not present, so we don't have an express and parcel operations having interest on our lockers. And this is something that we are also doing it now. So other markets, Germany, Finland, for example, have been interested on our equipment, and we've also doing partnerships with them to supply them with our equipment. And then we're trying different types of lockers. So we're now trying battery and solar panel options. Obviously, the screen will be a problem, so this is something that we obviously need to balance to see if this is the way. But having these solutions will help us deploy faster the locker network. I don't think it will be the highest share of the locker network that we have, but this is something that we wanna try. And we've been building different solutions for residential lockers that helps anyone living in a building to easily receive parcels, not only from carriers, but whoever is around, for the local shops, for the flower shop that is in the neighborhood. So whoever wants to bring something to the building can easily deliver it on the lockers. And then something that we're also, we just launched the returns. So 2 months ago, we launched the returns. And something that we want to build until the end of this year is to have label-free returns. So this is something that we're hearing from retailers and from consumers. Having to print the label and put it on a locker, it's something that they not really want to be worried about. And we were trying to develop this solution so they can easily, just with the number of what that parcel is, dropping it on the locker, and then we're able to just label it and then just do the reverse cycle back to the retailer or back to the whatever is the option. So basically, this is what we've been doing in Portugal for the PUDOs and specifically for lockers, and available to any questions. Let me get you the mic, sorry. Let me just get you the mic.
The complete PUDO network of locker network, what is the percentage of 24/7 availability?
It's more than a half.
More than half.
Yeah, it's close to 60% that it's 24 hours accessible. Yeah.
Okay.
When it's in shopping malls, for example, it's obviously limited to the hours of the shopping mall. It's always extended hours, so 23 p.m. or something, but it's not 24/7.
Okay. And do you also have challenges with regards to, let's say, temperature control? You talked about refrigerated lockers, but not refrigerated and then temperature control items for example, food, or is that a challenge for you? Or
No, so the CTT, we do not deliver food. So actually our clients do not expect to receive food. So far it hasn't been a problem. It doesn't really move in our express and parcel network. So this is something that it hasn't been an issue.
Okay, thank you.
What is your difference to the what is the difference between what you do comparing to Polish InPost? Do you do something different, because so far it's almost copy paste, except that you are producing yourself the parcel locker?
Mm-hmm. So it's InPost. Well, it depends on the markets, but InPost in Poland, actually the highest percentage is delivering to lockers. We came from a different place, so we are actually a last mile company. So we do deliveries. Home delivery is the main point, and we saw that people wanted this option in their market. So we came from different positions, but now we do deliver in lockers as well. Yeah, and different from InPost, we are an open network. So InPost is a closed loop network, and any carrier can work with our network.
And what is the share of the other carriers that are they using your network, or is like 95% are yours? how it goes?
Yeah, so I was mentioning in the beginning, so far only CTT delivers, but we've closed,
It's just opening.
yeah, we've closed now several contracts with other carriers, and on the second half of this year we will start using it. Other carriers will start using it, so it's something that we're interested to see how it works. It's obviously difficult to manage the flows from different providers, but it's something that we are interested to see.
And the other question, so you're gonna develop the network. Portugal is a very beautiful country. Do you suppose to have any problems with the building permissions? You know that you're gonna put something that is like metal, like a cubic. No, it's not pretty as all the buildings. You know, especially in the city centers, all city centers. Yeah. Do you expect any problems with this?
Yeah, well, so far no, and something that helps a lot the value proposition when talking to the municipalities is having an open network. So this facilitates a lot the conversations that we have with them, for them to giving permits to put the lockers in the middle of the street. And something that we're now doing with a specific municipality is they have, for example, a bike network that is mostly free to everyone, and we're trying to integrate that in order to have logistics integrated with urban mobility and easier to access to everyone. So this is something that helps a lot on having access to municipalities and having a promoter from their side in order to set up this network as well.
Okay. Thanks.
Hi. Are you selling this solution to any kind of carrier, or regarding the competitive advantage to some competitors, or?
So we are selling to anyone. Yeah, and and it's obviously we are dealing with companies that are competitors of CTT, but we believe it's the only way, or it's the way that we see that is right to build this network in Portugal and in Spain. One is we need the volumes, people are not used to using lockers, and in order to reach the occupation that we need, we really want most companies to use it. And so far, this is what we've been seeing. I don't know if we'll reach a place in time where we will need to start limiting the number of carriers that we have. Probably in a year or two, we'll see how it goes. But so far, it's opening up to anyone.
Thank you for a very impressive presentation. Am I right that you are not just a logistic company, but the so-called engineering company regarding to construction of your lockers? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, you're. Thank you. Yes, you're right. So actually, on CTT, we have a specific engineering and maintenance unit department. It not only works for lockers, but it works for sorting equipment, for example. So we control the design, the requirements, the specification of the equipment, and then we work with local partners that actually do and have the factories to build the metal and to assembly and to bring in the electronics. So yeah, we do have.
2024 before we set out. Thank you.
Hey, Francisco. Really interesting presentation. The fact that you're building these lockers yourselves is quite unique. Like, there are some posts who are building some software and trying to sell that sort of stuff to other posts, but like, I haven't seen anyone doing this and building technology. If, I don't know, BRT in Italy came in and said, we want to buy 500 lockers, you've made good lockers, you've got low labor costs in Portugal, you have the supply chain. Is that the sort of, like, is there an opportunity or do you see CTT looking at this as like a business line to almost become a locker manufacturer?
Yeah. So, So it started as a challenge from our CEO that I like lockers, I want to build a locker network, but I want to do it at half the cost that you're bringing me that equipments do cost. So in order to do that, we needed to change and actually think of setting up either actually building ourselves or setting up a local network. And the journey that we've moved on is that we're quite happy with the equipment, and then we started putting lockers for retailers, so not for our own network, but for others. And then we now see interest of other markets looking at our lockers, and so far the response is quite good. So I think it won't be our focus. So I don't think it will be a very large business unit where we mostly focus on exporting lockers. I don't think, but it's something that we obviously want to probably serve this interest of other markets that we're not present, and that we want to tackle. Germany is one, Finland is others, and for example, we got a lead from Mexico that we're not present at all, and obviously want to try and see how it works, and we believe that we have a good equipment. So if we turn out to sell a couple hundred lockers to other markets, it's amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you all. Hope it was interesting.